Welcome to Riga. It's the second night of Eurocup action here on Eurosport 2. You've already seen earlier this evening one of the favourites, Khimki. Yesterday you saw one of the leading teams in Europe in Ritas from Vilnius. But in this game here, one of the perennial leading teams of the Eurocup, Dynamo Moscow, as they visit Riga, last year's FIBA Eurocup champion team. So tonight we've got two teams with European pedigree, and Dynamo Moscow with new coach David Blatt, one of the biggest teams in Europe. They've been a EuroLeague successful team. With me tonight, as always, Martin Henlon. This is Dynamo Moscow. We see them every year. Every year it's an excitement, and tonight it's no different. Well,
Mark, you have to say that this is, if you want to talk about who the favourites are for this competition, just running down the roster of this team, you can see who is probably one of the, without shadow of a doubt, best teams on paper. Fortunately, they don't play the games on paper, they play them on a basketball court, which is why we're here tonight to see how they can begin their quest. But you're right, David Blatt, big name coach, big time roster put together, high expectations for this team. Everybody's expecting them to go all the way to win the inaugural ULEB Eurocup.
Well, the great thing about tonight's game, they're facing a team that have had European success. Last year they won the FIBA Cup, the level below what was the ULEB Cup, but they've won in Europe, and there's no substitute for that experience. They've got a number of guys who have returned. Demetrius Alexandru was with them last year. One of those things can carry over. Early game in the competition, they're at home, the crowd, it's a basketball crowd here in Riga. We've got to give these guys a chance. They've got a real chance. They're a European champion team.
Well, if you're a betting man, you'd see that Dynamo Moscow have been favoured by 7.5 points tonight. So the bookies think it's going to be a bit close. I just hope if both teams play to the best of their ability, it's going to be a tough night for Riga. However, you've got Moscow on the road in a tough venue with a crowd that's loud and aggressive. Will get behind a team. You're right, they've achieved European success, winning the FIBA Eurocup last season in Cyprus. So it's going to be a thoroughly entertaining night's basketball. We can't lose. Either Riga's going to come out and make a great game of this, which is great news, or Moscow is going to be sensational, so we're going to see one of the best teams showcasing their skills early on.
Well, while we have one of the heroes of Latvian basketball doing a ceremonial toss-up for the start of this program.
Almost David Stern.
Almost David Stern. Don't forget, we saw on Eurosport 2 last year Moscow get upset in Belgium earlier in the competition. Well, can lightning strike twice with David Blatt? I don't think so, but let's see if the team in white from Riga can actually cause an upset. This is game 3 of Eurosports 2 coverage, and we're in the half court, and here's Travis Hansen, one of the huge names on this Moscow team. Looking to reverse the basketball. They do a good job moving it, Bostan Nussbaugh gives it to Hansen. Hansen going inside, good rotation on the help. Another one, 3 shots, so that's one of the things that Riga can't do, as Sergei Monya, one of the regulars from this Moscow team, gets the offensive rebound.
Well, interesting foul called down there on Gennaro Pargo. The point guard's falling all over himself there. That's Skele. You see him stumble. The referee's calling the foul there, the reaching on Pargo. Aggressive defense. The worrying sign on that first play, if I'm Riga, is the way, the ease at which Moscow got the ball under the basket and were able to attack the rim.
Well, they got it inside to one of the best three-point shooters in Europe, in Travis Hansen. So obviously David Blatt wants to get the ball into the paint, wants to actually attack the basket.
Well, Hansen's a good low post player, and that's a great drive there. Gustas and Skele, this backcourt here, they're no chumps, let's put it that way. So as we said, this is a good Riga team. It's just a question of whether they can handle the depth and the efficiency of Moscow. Is a great jump shot nailed by Pargo.
Oh, it's coast to coast and back-to-back points for Gustas, and someone's got to play some defense. It's all very well having the talent, but you've got to get down and play hard. Oh, where is the defense at both ends? Pargo to the basket for an easy 2.
Mark, there's not much defense to stop that. That's called pure quickness. Skills and quickness. This team here, Moscow, you know, you look at Pargo, what was he, a 6-year NBA vet, played with the Lakers, played with the Hornets, and he's not just any old NBA veteran. He's a 10, 11-point-a-game veteran. These are big-time players. Natchbar averaged 10 points a game last year with New Jersey Nets. These guys can flat out play. Wow. And that's adding on top of the existing players, the carryovers, the Travis Hansens. They bring one of the better of the Lavrinovic twins over here as well. There's no weak spots on this team.
Deep three, whistle on the play.
There's Demetrius Alexander on the trying to sneak in there for offensive rebound.
Well, this guy, Demetrius Alexander, another one. We're seeing some quality people in the first few games of the coverage here on Eurosport too, because Demetrius Alexander, he's a much-traveled veteran in basketball terms. He's been in Israel, he's been in Spain, he's been in Korea even, and this guy has been around, and he averages 18 and 8 for this team outside European play. If they can get a game out of him, well, let's hope we can, because we can see this team giving Moscow a real test as the first foul there is called on Berzins. Kaspar Berzins, a 7-footer. We've got some size in this game as well, because Yaktov's at 7 feet, going against Berzin at 7 feet. There's some big boys there. The
issue there is Berzin's just trying to sort of body bang against Yaktov's. Yaktov's is known for not always being the most aggressive of players. He just, you see he's backing down, he's throwing that elbow out there, and Berzin's got to hold his stance. He's got to get down and aggressively maintain his position. You see Yaktov's sticking that arm up there. You just can't take that.
This is where Martin Stoy's got to hold the position right there, but he just keeps backing off. There'd have been an offensive foul if he'd held his position.
He's just got to hold position. Another thing is you got to get him going to the baseline, get him dribbling with his right hand.
Hansen to the basket, up and under for two. Wow. Pretty move by Travis Hansen.
Well, you have to worry if they're making the difficult shots, then you're in trouble, because you know they're going to make the easy ones.
Pargo leads the break. Early shot, straight off the three. Hansen again on the offensive boards. Excellent work as Monya recovers it as Hansen kept it alive. Pargo looking to try and go inside again. Sergei Monya puts it on the floor, backs out, takes the two, and hits the bottom of the string. And it's a nice start here as, sorry, that's Bar hits the two there. There's offense everywhere on this Moscow team.
It's not just offense, Mark. This is just this is every ounce a EuroLeague team. This team is almost playing in the wrong competition. They're playing men amongst boys, it looks like at the outset. Timeout's coming soon.
Absolutely, straight away timeout. That Spar gets out on the breakaway from the Hansen assist.
Well, Maybe he can help.
Well, I think it might take a little bit more of a cute-looking kid in the crowd here tonight.
What about cute-looking Mark Clark? Maybe you could help.
Wow, there's the timeout, and well, just look at the guys who aren't in the game yet.
Exactly, that's the point. You got Darius Lavrinovic, Hollis Price, a sensational EuroLeague season campaign last year. Sergei Bykov, point guard for a number of years here, has done great. Dimitri Damani, the rock who we say they built the team around. Ariel McDonald, that great Slovenian guard who's played in Maccabi Tel Aviv for many years. This team, from top to bottom, is pure quality. And Vasiliev, been around for a long time, another 7-footer, and Korolev, when he came in last year from the NBA, it was, oh, what's wrong with him? He still can't get a look in.
Well, one of the most touted young players coming out of Russia when he was on that Siska junior team. And we thought, well, maybe this year he'll get some time, but obviously not. He's still sitting there on the bench, and he is a talent if he gets in this game. Well, Moscow, from 1 to 12, a talented lineup. Well, Riga, during that timeout, we're just looking to try and maybe get a little bit of focus and find out where they can actually get some success.
Well,
the game's too up and down for me.
Well, too up and down maybe, and also Riga a little bit starstruck.
Maybe, I think
they're playing very soft defensively. Okay, Dimitri Adamaitis, he's not a great defender, and Natchball will kill him any day of the week. But, that little step, stutter step back jump shot, you don't let someone do that to you on your home court. You go out there and you pop them in the chest and say, heck no. Toughness is what they're missing right now.
Pull-up jump shot.
Wow.
Skikel with the pull-up, puts his own rebound, gets into the keyway, kicks it wide open for the three, nails that one, and Gustas, well, at the moment, I think he has all the points for Riga.
Well, the two guards, this backcourt's been playing together for a number of years, Gustas and Skele. Gustas, Lithuanian by nationality, been around a long time. Interestingly, he's the only player out here with a EuroLeague Champions medal. He played with Zalgiris in 1999 when he was a junior.
Well, Natchball just about gets the roll. He was a little bit slow getting back on defense, but Travis Hansen, He's one of those guards who just really kills you as a coach because he's getting to offensive rebounds, and he gets called for the foul there. Skilly gets to the basket and gets the 2 and will have the extra shot.
You see Skelly there with a strong first step and bump all the way down the lane, just waiting. The referee is waiting for him to shoot so he can make the call, and Travis Hansen saying, "Where's the foul, ref?" And the referee says, "Which foul? You could have chosen any one of 5 there." And so, these guards here of Riga are strong, and they will maintain and compete with anybody in this Eurocup group. The thing is, this Moscow team is so deep and strong.
Well, in the half court now, it's Pargo playing a little of a bouncy ball there, puts it above his head, but Yavtukas kicks to hands, gets to the basket, but better defensive rotation that time by Riga. More bodies in the lane and made it more difficult for Travis Hansen to get the shot away. But this is where they've got to start moving the basket. They're not making Moscow move at all. Skilly pulls back.
Well, they've got no additional help offensively except for Skelly and Gustas.
Demetrius Alexander knocks it out of bounds, almost gets the offensive rebound off of Yavtukas, and Alexander at times in his career has been known for a little bit too much talk to officials, wants to check that the referee got that call right. Well, he's actually got a point on the slow-mo. Unfortunately, the referees who we try never to criticize because we love them to death here, he's did actually come off of Yavtukas' leg, but
yeah, sometimes referees make mistakes, and Yavtukas, Alexander's done a good job of trying to establish his presence in the game without touching the ball.
Well,
he's drawn
wide open, mine. Look, this wide open.
Well, I wouldn't guard Yavtukas out there. I would have gone, sat down, drank a cup of tea while he shot that shot. That's not Robert Yavtukas' skill set.
Skelly penetrates, kicks, backcourt partner takes the 3. Alexander on the boards. Oh, that's get up, man, finish, and he does, and well, almost faked the foul.
Natchbar there, the Academy Awards are given out in March, but he flopped like he was trying to get an Oscar there.
Pick and roll, fundamentally sound. Yavtukas goes to the basket. He's probably done that a million times as he grew up in Lithuania.
Mark, I'll say this early on here. Sometimes you look at the opposition and you give them so much respect and say that Moscow is so big. Excuse me. We've got to go with our big lineup, but Kasper Berzins isn't man enough to play against this Moscow team, and they're going to have to go with Alexander being able to move to the 5 with toughness and find somebody else to back him up on the inside.
Travis Hansen sits down, and he is replaced by one of the stalwarts of this Russian team. Well, before I get into that, there is the stalwart. That's Dmitry Domani on the bench there. He is this team. Sergei Bivkov, who's been on this Moscow team every year. We've covered the ULEP Cup as it was before this year's Europe Cup. Nice little fade-away jump shot, and Gustas has come to play. Giaridas Gustas with another 2 points as he drags Riga back to a 13-16 margin. Missed long 3.
Good-looking shot, though, by Pargo. It's going to be difficult for someone like him, who's so quick and athletic and such a great shooter, to give up his offense just to be a part of this team.
Gustas again. Someone's got to guard him. There should be no one helping off that guy. He ties the score at 16-16.
You've got to... You're on the road. They've already seen the scouting report. You know what these guys can do. Moscow look like a team at the moment that know they're in the ascendancy, and they're trying to do it all on offense.
Oh, Demetrius Alexander, come on, play a bit harder than that.
Oh,
Led the break, looking for a foul as opposed to trying to finish. Well, things don't get any better if you're Riga, because an 18-point, I think, a game. Hollis Price, when he was in the EuroLeague, steps into the game for Moscow. They're just so deep as one of the Americans, Todd Abernethy from Riga, steps onto the floor to try and guard Hollis Price. And there's another man who's had a career around Europe that just has quality written all over it. Well,
that's the thing is, Moscow brings Hollis Price off the bench, one of the highest-rated point guards around Europe, and everybody remembers his college career at the University of Oklahoma, where he was an explosive player. Didn't perform so well his first couple of years he played in France at Le Mans, but they bring in Hollis Price and you come back with Todd Abernathy, a first-year player at college. Oh, well, what was I saying about Bezrin?
Absolutely right. Again, that's the second time, though. Bezrin that time and Demetrius Alexander before. Get up strong. Wide open, little mid-range two is no good. To the worrying sign, obviously another offensive rebound, but the worrying sign almost for Moscow is that the shots are coming almost too easily.
Yeah, that's what I said. They could be taken out of their rhythm if they don't get effective and efficient. You know, they're creating the shots, but they're not making them. But percentages say they will eventually make around 50%, so they'll be fine.
I've got a hold on the inside. It should be his third foul. Well, Bezrin's maybe taken out the game now, and because of the foul situation. This will be interesting to see how Riga deal with not having a 7-footer to come off, and they come in with Corey Smith at 6'5". So they're going to go quick, and they might go more aggressive.
I think you'll go more aggressive. You know, it's the respect for the 7-footers, and Corey Smith is going to really struggle to keep these big boys off the glass. But if he just knuckles down, concentrates as Lavrinovic comes in the game, a 7-footer to go to the 4 position. Nice balance, nice issue you got there. You got to block out, use your body. You're not going to out-jump anybody, but you can out-muscle them, you can out-think them. And let's just see if they can actually change the tempo of this game.
Well, 2 7-footers on the inside. He might as well leave Yavtikas alone on the perimeter, so they've got to reverse that a bit, get Yavtikas on the inside and leave Vrinovic on the perimeter. Penetration, that's Bo for 3, strokes it, beautiful 4.
Look at this front line. You got 7-foot Lavrinovic, who can go inside and out, can shoot the 3. You got Yavtikas, a 7-foot rock brick wall. Then you got Basti Nachbar, 6'9", can shoot inside out, strong as a house as well. That's a formidable front court they've got for Moscow. The one opportunity is if you can run on them, but if you open this game out, then they've got a backcourt in Hollis Price who just loves to play run and gun.
They've got too much offense to make this a run and gun. I think it's extend the defense, they've got to, but otherwise this is just happening too often. Too many easy looks. 7-footer to 7-footer, and Lavrinovic with a little bit of attitude gets the dunk. 2 guys on the inside at 7 foot combining out. Alexander's got to come to play now. He's got to get aggressive. Nice little post up and go into the basket. And Baikov is called for the foul.
And that's a nice wrinkle there. Going to Charles Rhodes there in the low post, where they're going for the mismatch, the guard on guard action. But it's to help, and these guys come help side. They come across. They're aggressive. But here's a way that they could find to score. If he's efficient, makes his free throws, he's going to get fouled, and eventually the big guys will sag in. When he kicks it out, you've got Gustas and Skeller, we know, have already shown can make the jump shot. But so offensively, they can find a way to score. My concern is defensively, where they're giving up dunks and layups.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if there's any change up in the defense, maybe extending it, maybe zoning. There's so much talent from the perimeter on this Moscow team to stand there in the zone.
Yeah, every year we seem to give more and more plaudits to Moscow. I remember a couple of years ago when they had Papadopoulos and Ivkovic coaching that team when they won the championship. And then last year when they had Hansen and Monya and all these other big guys, and Yavtikas coming up from Panathinaikos. This year they've got even better. They've had even more NBA quality. But they had Henry Damani last year, didn't they? Domakant last year. This team here has got everything. And obviously a bottomless pit of money to pay for it.
Well, interesting situation. They called Alexander for the offensive foul. Lavrinovic thought he fouled. And normally in that situation, they should have actually called Lavrinovic for the foul. So he definitely reached in. Nice flash from Baikov to the high post. Looks inside, finds Lavrinovic, great inside, outside from the 2 7-footers, got a whistle. Yavtikas throws the shot up.
Yeah, Alexander, there's no reason for, I'm not saying that Alexander's being scared, but, so passive in the low post, you're just giving up. Yavtikas, he looks like a physical specimen and a beast, but he isn't. I mean, he's quite soft on the inside.
We've seen him get muscled out of it in this competition. He
disappears if he doesn't get fed. He's not a real beast of a player.
Makes both his free throws, and looks like he's going to get a rest there. And this is trying to spot things here as the season develops. There's a little 3-player rotation going in. Monya, who taking a rest, comes back in. And Yavtikas sits down. And
you look at, Monya is a player who last season we were criticising because he didn't seem to find what he did well. You know, great athlete, runs the floor, and I think he wanted to be a superstar. But now he's found his role, and he does a little bit of everything now. He misses the three, but that's a good shot, plays tough defense. Great balance for this team.
There's a foul on Hollis Price as Abernethy went to the races there, beating down the floor for speed. And I still think the chance here for Riga, they can hang around. Moscow have had those upsets earlier in the season before, and that's what I'm assuming that Coach Muzinix has talked about hanging around, trying to get good shots, trying to move the basketball and maximize your opportunities. And one of those places is the free throw line.
It's a good point, Mark. Dynamo Moscow have made mistakes in the past, so don't write them off. Don't mail this one in yet. And the other thing is, it's very unlikely. No team has gone undefeated throughout a ULEB Cup campaign. And okay, it's the first Eurocup campaign, but I can't imagine that happening as Vikov that time coasts to the basket for a layup.
It's just too easy. They've got to play some defense. It's 25-17. Dynamo Moscow looking to establish control. 25 points already in the first quarter. I think we're going to get a foul there. We are. And that's one of the things that we're talking about there. Play the bigger guy for quickness. Get Larinovic in that situation away from the basket. Get him having to guard the quicker man. And you will get this Moscow team into foul trouble.
Yeah, Charles Rhodes can't. You know, he's at 6'7", 6'8", 2 meters 3. He's got quickness. He's got strength. Larinovic is obviously respectful of his three-point capability, so get him out there and take him to the basket. He's got to make these free throws, though.
Absolutely. That's 0 from 3. The last 3 trips to the line, they've come up empty for Riga. They could have been sitting here with just 5 points down with this to make it a 4-point lead, but you've got to shoot your free throws. Makes the second. 9.9 seconds on the clock. And Demetrius Alexander takes a blow. And he is replaced by Krista Zidax, one of the homegrown players here in this Riga team. 5 seconds, down to 4, early for Nachbar is long, no good. And they just about control it, but give up possession for Moscow.
0.3 of a second left, Mark. I didn't like that last play by Moscow. Going for the pick and pop, Nachbar popping back for the three-point shot. Yeah, okay, he can make that shot. Roll and get the easy two.
Offensive foul on Baikov. Now, had the ball been passed in, and was it loose or was it in control? If it's loose, I think they're going to call it team control. Yeah, it's just 0.3 and just bring the ball in. Well, here's a sight you haven't seen on Eurosport 2. One of the first-round draft picks, Yaroslav Korolev, gets 0.6 of a second at the end of the first quarter.
Well, see if he makes the most of it. Wow, that...
It's a 18. It's a Moscow lead as we end the first quarter, and there's already danger signs for the rest of the in this Europe Cup. They lead 25-18. Riga have got some talking to do, and we'll be back after this break. Welcome back to Riga. That's the huddle for the home team. Barons LMT Riga won the FIBA Europe Cup last year. Now, this is a whole new level, and they haven't been disgraced. They missed some free throws. And I think, as Martin was saying during the commentary there, it's about trying to find ways to get enough stops.
Yeah. Well, they've scored 18 points in the first quarter, so they've got no problem at home. You put 18 to 20, that's fine. You can't let the away team come under your floor, big expectation, big crowd, and let them put up the kind of 25, not on a regular basis. So now they've got to get back under 20 defensively. So that 18-point quarter, and just maintain. If they're in this 5 to 7 point deficit range at halftime, they'll be happy.
Well, I think the important thing for them is not to give uncontested shots at all. I mean, whatever defense they're in, they can't let this happen. That's far under the basket there with an unopposed 2. They can't give up offensive rebounds, and that's some of the problems they have, because this team can shoot the basketball. Demetrius Alexander's a big body. If he can get himself going and stop talking to the referees, he can give this team enough of a presence. And the backcourt of Skelly and Gustas has points potential.
Yeah, they've not been doing the backcourt's held its own, and they're only down by 7 points here. And you see Gustas and Skelly 1-2 punch. Alexander will come good. If he stays out of foul trouble, we know he will perform to his. He'll get you your double-double. He'll get you your 12 points, 10 rebounds. It's the other guys got to step up. You need something out of Bezrins. You need something out of Todd Abernathy, who's played good, tough defense so far. But they're okay. Just stay calm and start believing.
Well, Moscow trying to protect the big guys in the zone. Missed three-pointer. Hollis Price a chance to run, decides not to, and slows it up. Here's Nutchbar. He's just quality. Every time he touches the ball, he looks quality. Lavinovic at the high post. Throw in the block. Nice little spin. It's just too easy. It's too easy.
Mark, you've been spoiled. You say easy. That's quality basketball. That's an incredible drop step spin. Little love pass from Lavinovic, and he straight bounces back up and dunks on the whole team. Yeah, real easy stuff.
No, I know. It's not. That's not the point. It's just that Charles Roach just let him go. He didn't bang him, didn't try and hold him, didn't foul him, didn't anything. There was no, we're not going to let you look pretty here. There's no presence in that defense. They've got to try to stop them looking pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great move, and I'll take the point. The defensively, they're playing quite soft, but they are not a tough-nosed defensive team. This is a team that's built to a budget, and you know, they do what they say on the tin. The problem is that the opposition, they go to the bench. What do they go to the bench? At the end of the first quarter, they brought in the kid Zidax, who doesn't even turn up on the scout report. And then Moscow's first substitute at the second quarter, Ariel McDonald, 10-year veteran.
Been there, done it, seen everything. Moscow in the half court. 1 to 12, they're looking quality. On the dribble, pull back. Pull the trigger, hit the three.
Wow, I'm about to say, I'll live with Sergei Manya shooting threes like that off the dribble, but actually you won't, because he just drilled it.
It's a nice look to this Moscow team for one reason. I think Blatt's already given them a green light to play.
Yep.
You know, it's not about that he's not overstructured it. As long as these guys play defense, he's almost there. We're going to place you in positions, and you guys are going to show me how good you are every day. You take good shots, I'm going to stay with you. And automatically now, Nachbar will take the shot, get to the basket. Yep. Lavinovic, they're making decisions for themselves. And as you said then, Ariel McDonald, who's won European titles all round Europe, steps off as the fourth guy in from the bench. Looking inside again, Lavinovic. They don't get the travel there as Sergei Manya, after making the three, hangs around and does things on the inside too. 32-18. This is danger time here for Riga. Alexander misses the easy two. Moscow, chance to run.
Yeah, no shots there. Normally Alexander certainly in the Latvian league, and to a lesser extent in the Baltic league, he's shooting that layup over somebody the same size as him, 6'9", 6'10". You've got 2 7-footers coming at you. It changes things.
Hollis Price was just so quick on that first step. Wow, this is exhibition stuff. Now, don't ride off Riga. You know, they're a European winning team last year, so they're not going to lie down in there at home. But at the moment, Moscow are looking, well, they're looking hot in terms of a team that's potentially going to go all the way in this competition. Desperation three from the 7-footer. Berzins, Kasper Berzins, didn't even look like he was comfortable doing it.
Good defense, though, Mark. Good, solid defense. Okay, poor offensive series there by the Latvian outfit. But you see how Moscow extending defensively, and Manya just sort of laughing at Bezrins there, saying, come on, what are you doing? And it's a tough night there, but let's put this Moscow team in perspective, okay? The crowd tries to give the home team a bit of inspiration. They lost to Khimki. So they've lost one game in the Russian league. They beat Khimki the other day, and we saw Khimki earlier on today, a very effective outfit. But they also lost in the Russian league to Spartak Premier, which is one of the worst teams in the Russian league. So they do have off nights.
Wow. There's a whole crowd here hoping this timeout from Riga will give them an off night.
It must be an incredible time.
Wow, David Blatt taking this timeout. It's the pedigree of the coach as well. Let's be fair now. David Blatt, gold medal with the Russian national team, Turkey last year. Before that, even as an assistant in Israel with Maccabi Tel Aviv, he's known nothing but success.
Well, it's a coming home for him, isn't he? He's had great success with CSKA, and now he's at Dynamo Moscow here. You got guys like Natbar on your team. You expect to have great success. This team here would give any team in Europe and a fair few of the teams in the NBA a run for their money.
Wow.
You know, you've got to look for weak points. I don't know who is the tough guy on this team. I don't know who, when push comes to shove, and you know what I'm talking about, when a man comes at you, who's going to stand up and take that blow on the chest for you?
Well, coming back after that timeout, and Riga have got to find a way to try and stop the offensive flow that Moscow have. At the moment, they're picking options, they're moving the ball beautifully, they're setting screens, and they're sharing the basketball. But when it's their turn, when it's someone's turn, you're getting quality and everything. Nice back pick by Yaktivus. Hollis Price on the dribble, comes off the screen, gets into the keyway, get a little floater. That's better pressure. Three guys just jumped to the middle to help there. Pushing the ball early. Gustavs, even he starts with Alexander, nice rebound, but gave it up to Aaron McDonald. Just quick hands by the veteran. Almost turned over, and it's that man, Gustavs, who's really not doing anything apart from enhancing his reputation as a player. He's doing a great job for Riga.
He's a great performance tonight, as I said. In the backcourt of the Riga outfit have been strong, and Alexander got a great aggressive rebound before. I think they're waiting for him to do some things he would normally do, but he's not really having the game that you expect.
Wide open three for Adamatis.
Where's he been tonight? That's the first shot he's taken, and that's what he does, shoot spot up threes. It's taken them 15 minutes, but maybe that's the sort of spark that gets them to relax and just play the game that they're used to playing.
Moscow's in that zone, and if they're patient enough, as well as being aggressive to try and make the zone shift and try and find holes, they'll get open shots. McDonald, shot clock all the way down, has to fire it up. Better series. Last two series for Riga have been good. Following that timeout, they got the bad shot from Price and the shot clock violation with McDonald with the ball. Nice kick, open three, makes the three, and back-to-back threes, and even Kasper Berzins hits the three. 6 points, close it to a 10-point game.
No, he's looking to the referee now. He's got to, when Myavskas drops that shoulder and throws him backwards, he's got to take the charge. He's got to stand in there tough. Because Myavskas is a bit of a thug out there. You got to be stronger with him.
Well, the Moscow, after saying they shared a ball, McDonald with a quick release on the tough-looking three. Berzins just about comes up with a rebound, but just lands out of bounds before he can get rid of the ball.
Yeah, good defense, good defensive series for them. But all of a sudden, substitute time, and they come Travis Hansen and Gennaro Pargo. It's a thankless task playing against this Moscow team.
Just the referee, as we always expect, just get that one right as well. He landed before he could get rid of the ball. Out of bounds, Travis Hansen.
You know what, funny, Mark, you talk about Travis Hansen, a great three-point shooter. He hasn't shot a jump shot yet.
Goes inside. Backing in, Yaptigus. Nice little touch.
He's got to have some help, though. You know, Berzins has done all he can. And at some points in time, you go and then you take the ball off him. You see when Alexander gets the ball under the basket, they're clamoring and there's hands sticking in there. Yaptigus just took his time and shot a scoop shot underneath the arm of a 7-footer.
Stats to the basket, gets blocked. Chance to run here. 4 blue shirts down the floor, 4-3. Pargo makes a real mess of that. 2-on-1 going the other way.
Trying to get too pretty. Oh!
Well, let's stop being pretty both ends and let's just score 2 points. But
well, he didn't have the ball under control. He tries to go for the glory pass behind his back, and Gustav says, I know you well, my friend, but not that well.
Alman Skelly with a turnover. And David Platt takes that timeout, and that's not surprising because they've come up empty the last 4 trips, and not only have they come up empty, they've come up with no offense at all.
Well, I think they've relaxed a lot, haven't they? When they stretched the lead out 34-18, they thought, okay, job's over, let's get ready to get the flight back home. But now Coach Blatt is reminding them that they're professionals and they've got to stay focused and concentrate and execute offensively.
One of the things that people have asked at various points, Mike, when you're this deep and you've got players coming in and out, whereas some of these guys might have been used to being in the game for like 30 minutes, they've got to adjust to being in there somewhere between 18 and 22, 23. Sometimes can take a while for the season, during the season, to develop that.
It could well be, and you expect a team like Riga that's got a definite rotation, a 7-8 man rotation that's quite clear-cut. But the guys here on the Moscow team, you're right, there are some guys that aren't going to get playing time they normally expect. And I would be surprised if this is the same roster that goes throughout the season. Now, guys like Dmitry Domani, you know, normally plays 25 minutes a game, just a big part of the team. What's missing?
Well, just coming out of the timeout in this second quarter, and Moscow, I wouldn't say that David Platt was worried, but he wanted to make sure these guys didn't get complacent. They lead 36-24, and on the back of a 6-0 run for Riga, David Platt had seen enough of that, and they'd stopped moving the ball offensive. Oh, that's another turnover, almost just recovered by Yaptikus.
Better help defense as well from Gustas.
Oh, nice spin by Yaptikus. There's some help. Kick, extra pass. Pargo gives it up. Hansen for
box
three.
Out.
They've come up, team come up with a rebound.
That's okay. As I say, the Bucks are good defense. Make them do something.
Oh, Skelly's thinking about it, gives it inside. Alexander going to work, double team, kicks it. Pass should have been better. Backs it out.
Got to get some happening quickly, playing his own defense.
Gustas is going to have to shoot this. There's not a lot of time left on the shot clock. Does, pulls the trigger for three. Alexander almost, poor apology for an offensive rebound there, just sort of walked in there, didn't work hard, but Pargo controls the basketball with a 36-24 lead for Dynamo Moscow.
The rhythm's very slow for this game. Interesting to see who this benefits. It works in the favor of the home team if they can score.
Well, they've got to come up with balls like this. That's what you like to see, though. Your NBA player, he's the first man on the floor. Natchbar comes up with a held ball.
Now, he hustled in there.
Yep.
Yaptikus missed the shot, and he tried to hustle in there, trying to get that rebound. Yaptikus gets the turnover. Watch Natchbar try to hustle and get that steal, and Adamaitis said, I better stand here and fight for it.
As opposed to Demetrius Alexander, who let the game go on around his feet. Well, there's a legend. And I don't use that word very often, but in Russian terms, in this club's term, Dmitry Domani is nothing short of a legend.
Well, the club captain does what he does. You know, he shoots a bit. Here's your toughness. This is the guy, when I said who's the heart and soul, who's going to take the punch on the chest for you. This is the guy here, but I don't see where he gets a lot of minutes on this roster.
Yaptikus again, they're doing a better job now in the rotation. Travis Hansen spins, got to find Domani, puts it on the floor. We've got a foul on the reach. That's lazy defense by Adamaitis and Domani. He does qualify for veteran status at 35 years old.
Yeah, and you see, when they've upgraded the talent on this roster, you know, guys like Domani, who've been around the club for a long time, will take the hit on their minutes quite happily, because he knows he's been around long enough that his time will come. So if he's not getting playing time the first 10 games of the season, that's okay. You will need me.
Oh, beautiful move to the basket by Bocci Natchbar as he just sliced the defense and went to the basket and made two. Quality, absolute quality. And this is one of the features we've got here on Eurosport 2 now. We've got quality NBA guys, not just guys who weren't getting time, guys who are factors on their team. Skilly looks like he's hurt, and we've got a foul there on Gustas. And pick up that point, Mike. We're not talking about guys who are coming out of the NBA with reputation but no minutes. These guys are
It's interesting because the change in the mix. Yes, there's a lot more foreign, European, international interest in the NBA, but there's this trend we've had this season of guys coming back to Europe. Jorge Garbajosa saying he actually prefers the ULEB, the European style of play, to the NBA, which is a lot more one-on-one and much more of a star system. But so the best players are still in the league. But the interesting thing is the guys coming back from the NBA, top quality players averaging 10 points a game that aren't household names. There wasn't so long ago, you had guys like Stojakovic, Sabonis. There was like 3 guys and everybody knew them the world over. Now you got guys like Natchbar, 10, 12 points a game. This guy's playing. Garbajosa, okay, he is a different case. He was exceptionally well known because of his world championship medal. These guys are playing at the top level. They've proven they can do it in the NBA. They're not coming back because they can't hack it. They say, I've hacked it, I've had enough of hacking it, I want to go back and play the easy life.
Here's one of the guys who is a factor, was a factor in the NBA. Gennaro Pargo comes up with the three-point play. And if it was looking a little bit messy for Moscow, they've re-established themselves now. They lead 41-24. Demetrius Alexander's got to start imposing himself on this game. Pargo gets called for the foul on Gustas. And Gustas has been a handful. I know he's been a national team player for Lithuania, so that's a statement of his pedigree, but he's a handful for Pargo. He's, again, controlling the basketball here for Riga. Comes off of Alexander, who then does nothing after he sets the screen. Disappointed, puts it on the floor, tries to make the running layup. Oh, another less than strong move, should we say, as Pargo on the break pulls it up. Finds Levinovic, and
I'll tell you, Mark, Mr. Alexander looks like somebody who wants no part of them 7-footers under the basket. You know, they fall away, driving after 3 dribbles from behind the three-point line, just throws it at the rim. He's not involved in the game yet. Maybe he'll regather himself for the second half because he's going to play. They don't have an option to sit him down and bench him.
Well, they're real frustrating for me. You know, I've seen him playing yet when he was in the ACB. He was a quality
he's a good player.
Very good player. And in games like this, he's got to find ways to impose himself, make a contribution.
Every now and then, Mark, you get these big upsets. I've, been fortunate enough to be a part of sort of these things, and a small team taking on a big team. And when that happens, what will be the case is your big stars come out and play. Your big guns do what they normally do, and then there'll be a role player that will come through and play above and beyond. That's how Riga would win this game. The Skelly and Gustas would do what they do. Alexander does what he does, and then there'll be a fourth piece of the puzzle that would come through. That's what gives him a chance to win. Alexander has standing out behind the three-point line does me no favors whatsoever. He's got to be a workhorse. Go in there and get me some rebounds. Yeah,
body language is an important thing for teams, and he averages 18 points in the league this year. He's just got to try and get somewhere close to that. Damani's called for the foul. Here's Kravchenko, and gives it up. Alexander's going to settle for the three. He might make it or not. He catches nothing. Shot got what it deserved. And as opposed to that, working hard on the glass, Charles Rhodes gets in there strong at 6'8", comes up the offensive rebound, and he closes it now to a 17-point mark. Levinovic is going to charge. Yep. Waiting for that one. Levinovic is not happy with it, but it looked like it was going to happen from a long time.
Yeah, the nice finish at the other end there for Riga. And my concern for them, defensively, they're sort of so-so. They're hanging in there. We said to get a second quarter under 20. Okay, they've kept Moscow down to 18 points with under a minute left to play. It's defensively, though. I mean, 6 points in the quarter. I mean, they're just getting, they've locked them up and thrown away the key.
Yep, absolutely. 43-26. Kravchenko and Damani. At the point, he got a foul there on Hollis Price, and I can't say enough good things about Gustas. Price is quick, he's a good defender, he's played some of the best leagues. He just beat him there for speed. That's just reaching in, and Gustas attacked him. That's a good decision by the young guy.
It's hard to recognize it. It happens a lot quicker than it does when you see the replay, but Gustas sees Hollis Price rock forward onto his toes, and sort of leave his feet a little bit. That gives him enough of an advance to dribble past him. It's smart play, it's veteran play, it's somebody who knows how to play the game.
28-year-old guard who's obviously a Lithuanian, and Alexander at the moment, it's haven't seen him play some games in Seville where he had some down moments. He really does get into the wrong end of it. He's instead of trying to physically impose himself by playing, he's slapping, he's pushing.
Yeah, I've played against a lot of guys like that over the years. You don't get, at this level, you don't get to punk people out. You prove it on the court. You play hard basketball, and that's how you measure manhood.
Yeah.
There's no measure manhood by slapping somebody or shooting a cheap elbow. Referee's going to spot you sooner or later. Just play your game, sunshine.
Veteran play by Dmitry Damani there as he just drew that foul on Martins Kravchenko, and going to the bench again, and we see the first time Yuri Vasiliev steps into the game, 6'9" center. Well, it's pointless saying the guy can play because everybody on that Moscow team has ability to play. Damani, 1 from 2 from the free throw line, opens it out to a 16-point margin. in the last minute of the first half. And Moscow are making a statement in this competition. Going inside. This is where Alexander's got to go to work. Get up there and score. That's better. Impose yourself in the post. Nice
That's a strong move. He played the game the way he meant to be played. There's no sense growling at somebody. Do what you do.
Wow, 44-30. Just about 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Hollis Price probably going to get a clear out here or a little pick and roll. Here comes the pick and roll. Hollis Price comes off it. Turns the corner quickly and doesn't get the drop. But they come up, they've got to shoot this quick, no time on the clock, and there's the end of the first.
Well, it's going to be funny, but Vasiliev, if you came in the game with 30 seconds in the half, you get a long rebound. What do you think? You got another 5 minutes left to play?
He should have known exactly when he has, but there's the score, 44-30. Moscow looking every inch the favorite. We're going to take a very short break, and then we've got a feature on Moscow. Be back for that after this break. Well, just some slow-mo replays here from the first half of what's been a total dominance, really, by Moscow. During this half-time, we're going to get the chance to have a look at this Moscow club. You know, how good does David Platt, the coach, think these guys are? Because he's brought back some great players like Bostan Nachbar. So let's see what David Platt thinks about this Moscow lineup. And here we are in Moscow. Famous sights, the Kremlin, and this team from Moscow has aspirations not just to be a good team in Russia, but to be a European power. Bringing in David Platt, one of the leading coaches in Europe over the last few years, coaches the Russian national team to European gold. Has he got the players he needs to make Moscow a team?
We brought in some real quality players. We didn't just change players. We were also able to keep many players from last year's team, or actually the last 2 years' teams, and that's an important thing also, because you don't want to change entirely the team if you can avoid it. But again, specifically to the players that we brought in, we searched very hard, and the club and management did great work in convincing them to come, and I hope that pays off in the not too distant future, because they are quality guys and quality players, and they should give us a lot.
Well, one of those quality players that's been here for the last season or so is Travis Hansen. After years in Spain, Travis Hansen's been in Moscow, and does he feel that the goals this club has set are realistic?
Dynamo, it's an ambitious club, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, and they always want to win championships, no matter who they bring in. You know, obviously it's a transitional period with a new coach, a lot of new players. You got to learn his system, learn how to play together. But you know, our goals are always the same at Dynamo. We want to win a Russian championship and Eurocup championship, and we're in the Eurocup, I guess, this year, and hopefully we can be in the EuroLeague next year.
Travis Hansen, one of the big names that David Platt has brought in, and as he said before, he thinks he really has brought some quality to this Moscow lineup.
If you look at the new format of the Eurocup, and if you look at the strength of the teams that are in the Eurocup, you're really looking at a great competition, probably the best ever for this level. Several teams that are unquestionably of EuroLeague quality. My expectations are for extremely difficult, hard-fought, and competitive games in all the groups throughout the entire season, whether it be in the first round or second round or final 8. And it's going to be a big challenge to go far into this competition and then hopefully do something special.
Well, one of the guys that David Platt has brought to Moscow is Janira Pargo. Had a great season in the NBA, packing up Chris Paul, but now he wants to make the impact in Europe.
We got a lot of guys that's been in the NBA, a lot of Russian guys that play in the NBA, so I think the double is good, and it's only going to get better with a great coach and a great coaching staff, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Well,
in addition to Pargo, one of the other NBA guys is Bostan Nachbar. Nachbar is just one of those other quality guys from the NBA that Moscow really believe is going to give them the chance to be successful in this competition.
This team definitely has, you know, a lot of players that can play different positions, that have played for different coaches in different teams, in different leagues. So we have young players and we have experienced players, you know. But there are a lot of new guys, and I think it's going to take some time for us to adjust to play with each other. You know, it's not easy when you bring in, you know, 5, 6 different players all of a sudden, and you try to, you know, play for day one as a team. You know, all are great guys. We have a good chemistry going on. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time before we start playing like a championship caliber team, which I think this team can definitely do.
Well, in Coach Blatt, that championship winning team is something he has a lot of experience of from his days at Maccabi Tel Aviv. He can compare that sort of level to the level he has now here in Moscow.
Back to the beginning of Anthony Parker's career with Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he really struggled early. And not many people believed that he was going to be successful, and certainly didn't believe or understand what kind of an impact player and great player that he was going to be in the European scene for several years. But both of those guys, both Bastian and Gennaro, have the most important quality that I think is necessary for that adjustment, and that's personality. They're smart, bright, mature young men who want to fit in and want to learn the right way to do things.
Well, only time will tell if Moscow are going to be a championship winning team, and you can see that here on Eurosport 2. Well, back to some highlights here, and Moscow really did make a statement. In their first half of Eurocup basketball, they've established a huge lead here. It's going to be incredibly difficult for Riga to have any chance of getting back. Well, we're going to have a chance to see some highlights of yesterday's game and the earlier game after this commercial break. So we'll get back to see how well Le Havre did in their first game. Well, back here for Dynamo Moscow and Riga. Riga, the home team, will need every piece of support they can get for the crowd. Martin, is there a way that Riga can find their way back into this game?
Well, of course they can find a way back. Let's play some defense and make some shots. You know, it's a simple formula. We say on many occasions, it's not rocket science basketball. It's quite straightforward. You've got to outscore the opposition. They, you know, defensively they did okay in the second quarter, but they've got to get some more performance from the guys like Alexander here, this time with making the strong layup. Establish their presence, take control. The rhythm is absolutely at the mercy of Dynamo Moscow at the moment.
Well, Moscow have so many weapons, and in some way Riga have got to try and close it but not giving too many shots up to Moscow. So we're going to take another break so we can recharge our batteries, and we'll be back for the second half. Give and see if Riga can get back into this game. Well, welcome back to Riga. Dynamo Moscow with that 44-30 lead. Both teams already out warming up for the third quarter to start. The crowd are going to have to play a factor. They're going to need to be that sixth man. It's a very knowledgeable crowd up here in the Baltic states. The Latvian, not quite as strong as Lithuanian basketball, but these guys know their basketball up here. They can appreciate big teams. Always a big deal when a Russian team visits the Baltic states. They like to have the chance to put one over on the old Soviet Union, and tonight will be no different. So if there's a bit of momentum that builds, you know the crowd are going to get into this.
Well, Riga is not surprising. Latvia is, as I say, a former Soviet country. There's a great appetite for high-quality basketball in Latvia, and Riga has got, you know, you've got teams up there. You've got Ventspils, you've got Ask Riga, you've got Barons Riga. 3 teams right on each other's doorstep, all play solid basketball. The Latvian league is competitive, and they've got the added incentive, Baltic League, where they compete with teams from Estonia, Sweden, and Lithuania, and that's where the standard has risen over the years, because it's not just an intramural competition, it's international competition. So when they spill over into these contests like FIBA Cup and Eurocup, they're very successful.
That's one of the things we were talking about before. See, people here talk about British teams playing in European competitions. Well, you know, we're comparable levels to some of those Dutch teams and the Belgian teams, and maybe that's a way that we could look to do something different, to prepare our teams perhaps for European competition.
Well, I've given up on trying to save the British game, Mark, but yeah, you're right. There's always a complaint for British basketball that says you should compete in Europe to raise the standard of your game, but we can't afford to compete and then go and get beat by 50 points every night. Okay, well, don't play against Dynamo Moscow then. Go play against the Dutch teams, the Belgian teams. You know, those leagues are competitive. We've got enough rivalries with those countries. You should be able to make an interesting competition format. Play against the Irish teams. You know, there is, you know, you've got to think outside the box. Cricket's a great example. You know, cricket was on the decline. Somebody came with 2020 cricket. We've got to find those interesting solutions for basketball. It's too much in Britain of more of the same.
We don't need more of the same. What we need, though, here, though, we don't need more of the same for Riga. We need a change to see if we can get it. Well, as Dynamo Moscow come out for the start of the second half here in Riga, they lead 44-30, and they're in the control of this game. They've had a great first half. Coach Blatt will be very pleased with that. He's getting minutes into a lot of his team, his rotations, getting different combinations on the floor. It's looking good from that perspective. But it's only 14 points, so there's still hope here for Riga. They're at home. Shevchenko's got the ball here, trying to actually get some half-court offense going. They've got to get some stops, get this under 10 as soon as you can.
Well, the start of the game, of this third quarter is important, specifically as Moscow have gone back into that zone defense again. Got to get them out of the zone. You've got to play them tough. They've switched into a switching man now. Got to finish that first play. Great block by Hansen. Great block. Nice.
I was in about nice ball movement, but Travis Hansen. Well, when people talk about Travis Hansen, they say, yeah, great three-point shooter, great this, but he plays in, coming up with numbers, every aspect of the game. A block there, defensive rebound, offensive rebound, great aspect, great attribute for a player to have.
Well, he's learned to become a man on the basketball court and add veteran experience. I played against him when he was in college at University of Utah many years ago, and he was a live wire then, coached by the great Rick Majerus. So he's had a great ground and a great foundation to build on. And now 5-6 years on, he's into a solid veteran, exactly what you'd like.
Another steal coming down the other end. Soleimania gets to the basket with 2 points. Poor entry pass to the post. This guy needs to handle the ball more. Gustas, who had a great first half for Riga, needs to see the basket, need to find ways to get in the ball in areas where he can be productive for the Latvian lineup.
And they're trying to go at Alexander, and still he's playing soft. You know, his team are waiting for him. They're saying, you know, give us a sign. Show us you're ready to play, big fella.
Pargo comes off that pick and roll. Monya just gets forever to shoot the three. Doesn't make it. Good hustle on the defensive end. A chance for Riga to try and get their first 2 points of this second half.
Mark, at some point, I'm about to say, Mark, at some point in time, the coach of Riga has to recognize that Alexander's not with us today. And so he needs to sit down and, you know, we'll see you on Saturday for the domestic league. Obviously, you're not man enough to play Cup or Eurocup today.
I think you're absolutely right, and he doesn't look like he's ready to play, and he's gone to the bench, and he's brought in Perkins.
So sit down, you big baby. I mean, it's summarised by then elbowing Natchbar in the jaw. Okay, he made a bit of a meal of it, and he'll be fine, but it's not. That's not the kind of leadership your teammates need.
That's a nice pass. Hansen for the dunk on the baseline. Wow, Travis Hansen just said what the different things he brings. Great cut. Activity away from the basketball and just threw it down. Love to see that one again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bezrins would like to see that one again.
Bezrins comes straight back and hits the three. Well, there's a bit of role reversal. The 7-footer steps out and shoots the three, and the off-guard goes and dunks it in traffic.
After getting dunked on, I don't know which one I'd rather do. I'd rather dunk on somebody.
Pargo to the basket, gets fouled by Gustas, and wow, he's just enjoying this. This is, okay, the Moscow are in control of this game. It's up to Riga to change something in this game, but you just got to love it. This is quality basketball here on Eurosport 2, and you're going to see this for the next few weeks. The Eurocup's a great initiative. You've got FIBA and ULEB working together to come up with a competition that really brings the different competitions, a seamless structure all the way through to the EuroLeague. And we're the people benefiting from most because we've got guys at this level. Dinero Pargo on the free.
And Mark, you look at this new structure, and it has made the Eurocup, which was a solid competition, 54 teams last year, and we couldn't even begin to figure out how you qualified. It's a straightforward affair, and look at the quality of teams that are in this competition. We had Ritas last night, you've got Moscow tonight, earlier you had Kimki. These are, as Coach Blatt said at halftime, EuroLeague quality players. EuroLeague quality players and teams. So the whole standard is raised. So even now the FIBA Cup, the Euro Challenge underneath this one, the standard of that has risen as well.
It's a great structure now, and you've got to think one of the things that some of the things that happen around basketball, one of the things that always impresses me is that people think about how you can make the game get better, continue. It never stands still. And in Europe now, we've got this competition, this Eurocup competition. What an advert for the game in Europe.
Well, Jordi Bartholomew, of the chief executive of the ULEZ Association, deserves a lot of credit. Great man, great thinker. First, he fixed his core proposition, as David Blatt just sorts out a little bit of dandruff there. It's nice to know you're so far ahead you can worry about, am I looking good in my suit? But Jordi sorted out the EuroLeague, his marquee product, built a strong association with the NBA, but also has got a strong strategy regardless of the NBA. European basketball is thriving.
Here's Bezrin for the three, strokes the three. Hey, this guy should just stay on the three-point line.
We criticised the first one he shot, but you can see why he puts them up, because he can make them.
It's still only a 14-point game as Pargo pulls it out. And that's the thing, we're talking about Moscow being a great team, but Riga are good enough to make these guys have to play hard. Here's Pargo on the dribble, trying to isolate in the post of Yaptikus.
He needs help now. While this guy's dribbling, he's not a great passer.
He did a better job, though, that time.
How many times did we say last season, when Yaptikus, he starts dribbling the ball down in the low post, he's going to shoot.
Yep.
2-3 dribbles, go take it off him. And that time, better defensive set. They faked at him. He went to the jump hook, which we know he's going to come back to. Much better defensive series. And maybe they're starting to believe, with their star player Alexander on the bench.
Gustav, what can you say about this boy? Julius Gustav, the 28-year-old, playing with such enthusiasm. Great reverse layup, cuts it to a 12-point game, 38-50. Pargo to the keyway, gets the basket. And I think they're going to give him that, although
it should be an down one play. Kovachenko's, disappointing. That's just pure quickness. Dinero Pargo, when he was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers, he was supposed to be the missing piece of the puzzle. It was when they had Shaq and Kobe Bryant playing together, and they were lacking a point guard that could give them great defensive intensity, but also a bit of offensive punch when necessary. This was the guy they wanted to fill that role. His first season never had the breakout season they were expecting. Ultimately, they went with Derek Fisher, came back and filled that role, and we all know how many rings they won then. But this guy's a top-quality prospect. He's plied his trade. The NBA is such now that you don't stay at a club for a long time unless you're a superstar and they can't afford to sell you.
Pargo guarding Todd Abernethy, who's back in the game. No, I'm waiting to find out what this guy has offensively. Well, didn't have to wait long.
Todd Abernethy, a 3-year starter and captain at Ole Miss. This guy here could play. He's not a scrub. He's just learning his tools of trade. But Skele and Gustas, those are two quality guards he's playing behind. Nice three-man rotation in the backcourt for Riga. They've just been let down at the front court. I hate to name names, but I'm going to. Demetrius Alexander's really just not been there today.
Not at all. Pargo gets his man in the air, throws it up, gets after himself. That'll go down to the captain, knocked in by the defensive player off the glass.
You see the springs that Pargo's got. He bounces so high, so quickly.
They're hanging around now, though, Riga. Still only 14. Gustav.
And the crowd's behind them as well.
High post screen here. Rhodes sets the picks. Rhodes rolls to the basket. Will get fouled. Doesn't get the drop. But Charles Rhodes, good screen. And I have to agree with you. Since Alexander's gone out the game, there's been so much more purpose to what this team's trying to do.
Well, they're playing as hard as they can. They're saying, OK, we'd like to do it with you, but we'll do it without you. You've got... You get this where the coach wants to find the 5 players that are playing the hardest on the floor. It doesn't matter if you do well or bad. I just want guys that are going to give it up for the team, and that's what he's got right now. Now, if Demetria Adamaitis, number 10, can come up and make a couple of jump shots, we got a game on our hands here.
That's what we need now. We need a game. We need a couple of stops, get it under 10. We always talk about getting into single figures. I know Moscow will still believe they're in control, but you've got to make any team that has to start thinking about the game is not going to be as smooth and is not going to shoot that percentage. Hansen, post Abernathy up in the block again. Little fade away too.
You can't let him do that. That's the same thing with Yavchka's, although worse. Backing down the smaller guys. He's starting to dribble. You're going to have to double team, make him pass it out there. You risk them making a three-point shot.
Oh, he's stolen it. Hansen's everywhere. I just love the way this guy plays the game. Well, every facet of the game, he makes contributions. One of those guys who has stats everywhere.
Charles Rhodes, not the guy who's supposed to be handling the ball 3 feet behind the three-point line. And Gustas didn't make. She got to take strong control, come and snatch the ball. And as you said, Hansen, smart enough player to be round to pick up the loose steal and go and get the dunk.
Well, during this time, it's a good time out here, though, by Riga. They had a little bit of momentum going, and they just lost their way a little bit. And Coach Musnieks has called the timeout. It's just refocus, guys. Let's try and find a way to get those options we were getting before.
Well, they're playing them straight up. They're playing them even in this third quarter. It's 13-13, so they were ahead by 6 points up. They're up 13-7 in this quarter. So they maintained a good level of intensity in this third quarter, and so it's silly mistakes down here which cause you problems.
I'm glad we saw that. I was waiting for that highlight of Travis Hansen on that dunk, and the important thing for me was that Yavchkas makes the move and he cuts hard, had the control and the athleticism to get up and throw that one down.
And at the other end, you got the 7-footer Bezrin. It's role reversal, shall we say. But there's been some spectacular plays out here. This guy here, Gustas, has been solid, but Hansen again, just a great guy to have on your team. He's almost like a younger, more athletic version of Dimitri Damani.
He's done a tremendous job for this team. Well, Todd Anthony bringing the ball down as it's 59-43 for Dynamo. They've rebuilt that lead. It's 16 again. It had been cut to 12. Back in trying to get that defense going again, and they do. Natchbar led the break again. Well, yeah, the guy's, he's a 6'9", 6'10" guy. Looks so comfortable handling the ball. He's a quality guy, the Slovenian. And while we're talking about Slovenians, he could be one of the guys playing GB in the Eurobasket finals in the summer.
Slovenia is the best team you've never heard of in Eurobasket. That's what I'll say. You've got guys like Natchbar if he plays. You've got the Lonkar brothers. You've got Biedrins, who had a leading rebounder in the NBA at the moment, 7'2", averaging 14 rebounds a game. That's a tough group. And then Serbia, resurgent, and Spain, we don't need to say anything about.
So a resurgent Serbia, one of the basketball powerhouses. As you've now christened them the best unknown team in Europe.
I didn't say unknown team. I said the best team you never heard of.
Never heard of. Sorry, I'll correct there. Thank you for correcting me there. And the world champions. Yeah, what a group.
And what a story when Great Britain wins its way out of that group.
Absolutely, and that's what I know all the fans in Great Britain are hoping for, and that's what we're hoping for. And I'm sure Coach Fincher and his staff are already literally licking their lips at that prospect.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Mark, these 4,000 fans in the Riga arena, they're hoping this guy come to play. That's what they're hoping for, Demetrius Alexander. And, you know, you can see that the Moscow guys smell blood. You know, he's driving. That's a play. You're expecting him to go and throw it down, big fella. Big, strong dunk, and he does. He drives in, takes the body bump, and, you know, I'll go and get 2 free throws. I said to you, at the end of this game, statistically, he will be fine. He'll say, I've got 10 points, 10 rebounds, whatever, but he's just not had the influence on the game that you would hope. His body language is wrong. I'm disappointed because I was expecting a lot more out of him. He is the heart and soul of this team.
Hansen again backs in, nice extra pass.
And another dunk, and that's Alexander didn't come strong. I'm blaming him because the rotation should have come around as well. But just soft defensively, they're not as good tonight with him on the floor.
No, they're not. And it's disappointing to see that because he is a quality player, whereas Charles Rhodes doesn't have the tools, but he's playing hard.
No, you're right. Absolutely limited. He's got a toolkit like mine. You great big box, open it up. There's like a broken spanner, a screw with no thread on it. But hey, he makes the most of those things. That's what he's doing.
You can't ever, as a coach, you just love the guy that plays hard for you. And Charles Rhodes, his minutes are up, he's playing hard, he's not backing down. When he went to the basket, then he was looking to throw it down on people. He wasn't trying to
Mark. I know you say, as a coach, you love a guy who plays hard, but you love a guy who plays hard who actually knows how to play.
Well, yeah, obviously, that's absolutely true. I wouldn't swap.
You want Alexander playing good and let Rhodes play bad, but
absolutely.
That's me being a bit cruel. The Rhodes has been a solid production. If you imagine if Alexander's getting his average numbers and you've got Rhodes producing to this standard, they're in the game. That they're only down 16. This is a single-figure game.
You're looking at a 10-pointer, and if you're at home with this crowd, then that could become interesting. It still might. We're in the third quarter. There's plenty of time.
Got to get the ball out of his hands. Don't let Abernathy down there one-on-one.
Nice kick, wide open look. Stroked by Natchbar from the three-point line.
But Mark, you've got to give something up. If you want to get back in this game, you can't let Travis Hansen kill you in the low post. The BYU graduate. I wondered if he would, because normally when you play at BYU, you go on a Mormon mission for 2 years. Did he do that before he went into professional basketball?
We need to check that. We're going to be covering Moscow. It's something to talk about because it shows, Travis Hansen is a complete basketball player. You've played against him. He's a solid professional guy. You'd expect him to do whatever he was supposed to do.
That's funny because I said he was Utah, but he wasn't Utah. It was BYU he played, Brigham Young University. Right. And I know that part of their scholarship agreement is that they played 2 years. No, he went straight from BYU to the Atlanta Hawks.
Right.
So he's got a 2-year mission coming at some point in time.
Whatever he decides to do that, he's probably going to do that as 100% as he plays. This will be a Barron's ball on the baseline. Riga, Barron's LMT Riga, trying to find a way to get back into this game. And they're still trying. This crowd will, they deserve this team to try. They're still putting out almost a turnover as Gustas tries to initiate something in the half court for this team. They're looking to get much better shots. Every shot at the moment is contested. Alexander going to work in the keyway. Little touch, weak shot again.
Just not extending. It doesn't look like he's trying to finish.
Oh, almost a highlight, but chance now for Riga to get to the races. Pull up for the three. Strokes the three. There's Adamatis on the end of the break, but answered with the easy 2 down the far end. And
someone's got to get back. Adamaitis makes the 3, so somebody got to recognize if he's shooting a 3, then somebody's got, where's his man? Let's get back and help him.
Well, it's wasn't as if anyone was on the offensive glass, and Natchbar just ran past people. Here's Gustas getting the high post screen from Alexander, kicks it. Got to shake that himself, does. He's short. Alexander had inside position and still didn't come up with it, and Charles Rhodes still still trying to earn his paycheck on the offensive board as Pargo pulls it out, looks to get Hansen on the inside, or Natchbar on the inside, and Hansen with the offensive board. Well, Hansen has done more damage tonight inside the keyway.
Yeah, he really has added to his game, though, hasn't he, Mark? He was a three-point shooter, great athlete, would rebound from the guard position. Now he does a bit of everything. He rebounds. He said he gets assists. He's got 4 assists, 3 steals. He's drawing fouls. He hasn't made a three-point shot tonight. But what he has done is really led this team by example.
Here's Pargo, 5 seconds where he's just going to come off this and try and create himself, and does, and almost gets it off the glass. 10 seconds, loads of times here for Riga. Gustas recognizes that.
Nice
6
recognition
seconds,
by
once the screen's going to pass inside.
Good move, strong move.
Fadeaway jump shot gets nothing, got what it deserved. They could have got a much better shot than that with 10 seconds on the shot clock, but it's a 21-point margin for one of the favorites of this competition. Dynamo Moscow 70, Barons from Riga 49. We'll be back after this break. Well, welcome back to Riga. A little bit of replay here. There's the long 3 by Adamaitis, but that was nowhere near enough because down the other end, Bostan Natchbar just got away for the dunk. And, well, there's the numbers. 25, 19, 26. Moscow scoring points in every single quarter. That's the most points that Riga have scored, 19, and the margin increases by 7. Wow, this is a EuroLeague team playing in the Eurocup. But then again, as Coach Blatt said at half-time, there's a number of teams that will fall into that category.
Yeah, I mean, just a great third quarter performance. Just a solid professional performance throughout tonight. I mean, there's proving themselves to be one of the favorite teams in this competition.
All right, I'll go further than one of the favorites. This is going to take a hell of a team to beat this team. Nice pass. And another excellent ball movement. They're sharing it. Moving away from the ball is excellent. And in the end, a wide open Sergei Monye gets 2 feet from the hoop, gets fouled, and he will go to the free throw line.
How many fouls is that for Mr. Berzins?
I think is it 4? I mean, maybe 4 or 5.
Well, they're sitting him down.
Well, it's just comment on old on young Kristaps Zidaks coming into the game. This young man's it's a bit of a baptism of fire.
I still say though, Mark, if the best player or your marquee player of Riga had shown up, came to the office with his hard hat on, Demetrius Alexander, this game could have been a lot different.
I would 100% agree with you. And this guy's come to play though. Giedrius Gustas done a decent job for his team. Corey Smith on the wing, gives it to Alexander. Is he going to start playing hard now in the fourth quarter? No, he kicks it though. Nice pass. Wow, Kravchenko is blocked, and Moscow are ganging up on that play. Here's Pargo in the half court, gets that high post pick and roll. Oh, fumbled by Monye, but finds Bykov, pulls it out and decides not to shoot it.
One of the good things this Riga...
8 seconds on the shot clock, though. Bykov's going to try and create himself and gets
wow, caught a carry. I'm about to say the referee's going to call a foul or something. Bykov normally very efficient on the dribble. One of the things about... You asked me about having a team this deep. They are so good in the starting 5 and the balance of this team. They will get into a lot of blowout situations, but of course with point spreads being so efficient and important, you can rest your starters in the fourth quarter as they are now, still maintain defensive intensity so you don't eat into any of that point aggregate. So I think that's another reason why you have a team that's this deep and this strong. Normally fourth quarter you get some garbage points. There's no garbage time against this Moscow team.
Oh, absolutely not. And here's Bykov. He's on the wing, comes on that high pro screen, kicks it. Monye finds Nashbar. Oh, great first step. He's fouled on the way to the basket, and that man's basketball education just went up a notch. Kristaps Zidaks, the 18-year-old, well, tried to close out, and before he'd even realized it, Bostan Nashbar went straight past him.
Yeah, and you know what, Marcus, the disappointing sign there. When that foul was committed, everybody in the gym knew it was committed by Zidaks. Demetrius Alexander raised his hand.
It's like, get me out of here.
Wanting to get the foul. He should be in Australian jungle, I think, at the moment, rather than on a basketball court.
Oh, that gives him the celebrity status.
Ah, well, maybe there's a Latvian jungle he could be in.
I'm a celebrity player on a team that wants to get off the court, and that's the Demetrius Alexander. Well, he's not going to do himself any favors with a crowd. This crowd's a knowledgeable crowd. They're going to see that stuff too.
Yeah, of course they are. They recognize that. You know, he's a guy who's played at a higher level than Latvian and Baltic League basketball, but he should be, as you say, 18 points a game. Give me 16, give me 15. Don't come up and give me 6.
Corey Smith just came up with nothing himself. Hansen to the basket, little kick off, and it's reset. Let's give it to Pargo. Pargo off Yakubas's pick and roll. Turnover, chance for Riga to get going.
Mark, you see what I was saying about the intensity being maintained defensively and offensively. You know, you still got Nashbar, who arguably is the best player in the gym, still playing hard on the court.
First guy back there. You know, his team is up by 20+ points. Bit of a turnover. He's the first guy back. You know, you never let your level drop if you're a quality player, and that's exactly what Bostan Nashbar is. There's part of me that hopes we really do see him in Eurobasket, but there's part of me...
There's another elbow.
There's another part of me that says, no, I don't want him. And Yaptivas gives him a look, and I'm with Yaptivas 100%. And so the answer to that is Yaptivas picks up a foul, and in comes another 7-footer. Here comes Lavrinovic, who's... Wow, he's a stellar player. He's a player who's been around and he's can play at any level.
We talk about Darius and Christoph Lavrinovic, and they both, you know, the twins, when they play together, they shoot threes, they rebound, they score. Lavrinovic is just playing his role on this team. He's taking up space. That's what you go. Of course, when you're getting paid a couple of million euros, you sort of don't mind sacrificing your game. But money aside, these guys are high-paid players no matter where they go.
Long three is no good off the Pargo field. Bospan Natchbar comes up with nothing.
These guys are here, Mark, because they want to win championships. And it's 2 championships they're after. It's the Eurocup in this year, and also thinking about EuroLeague next season, which is a much different proposition, but also the Russian Super League, which is very competitive at the top.
Wow. Those playoffs are playoffs you'd love to see, wouldn't they? CSKA Moscow, just to mention them, always in the one of the final 4 regulars in the last few years. And then we've already seen Khimki, we've already seen Unix Kazan. We covered Unix Kazan, and we're going to get the chance to see those teams throughout this Eurocup season here on Eurosport 2.
And on that GB flavour as well, Great Britain's men's captain Andrew Sullivan plying his trade at Samara in the Russian Super League at the moment as well.
Oh, Alexandra.
Oh.
Well, I'm not really sure that there's got to be something here from Coach Musnik as to why he's keeping Alexander in the game.
To me, I'll tell you why.
Here's Hollis Price. We'll pick up the Dimitri Alexander point in a second. Hollis Price for 3 comes up with nothing, and the quality of player like Hollis Price hasn't seen the floor for a while. Let's see how engaged he is in the game as Corey Smith puts it on the floor, kicks it. Someone who's not engaged at all is this man, Demetrius Alexander, who kicks it to the young 18-year-old Zidax, who shakes the 3 and comes up with nothing. Now, Lavrinovic, I know what Lavrinovic is saying. He's going to be asking me, can you watch these cheap shots? This guy doesn't want to play. Let's not get into stuff, because there's all this little stuff going off the ball. Why is it then that Musniks is keeping Alexander in the game then, Martin?
Well, because he wants to give him a workout. It's almost like punishment play. He's saying, you're not going to play hard, I'm not going to reward you by sitting down. You're not being a warrior, which is what I want you to do.
Wow, nice penetration by Corey Smith. Well, Smith and Rhodes, the 2, and Abernethy, the other 3 Americans on this team, have played hard. You can't knock these guys for playing hard.
Alexander's thing just didn't go his way, and when it didn't go his way, he stopped playing hard, and that's the thing that you get disappointed with. Which is not his first year on this team, though, so he's been here a couple of years. He's had these battles with his coaches. Obviously, his coach accepts this kind of soft play, and Lavrinovic, I can see his frustration there, but actually Alexander, that's showing his talent, Mark. He got him, sealed him under the basket, caught the ball, leaned in, body bump, made the layup. Watch the pass, look how deep he catches the ball. There's the foul.
No,
it's a tough one to call, but the bodies have bumped. You've got under the basket, the refs are going to call it. Lavrinovic played soft defense for a moment there, and Alexander, almost without trying, gets a basket. And as I say, imagine if he was playing as hard as he could.
And you know what? As you say, he may get some numbers in the last few minutes of the game, and you've got to hate that sort of stuff, but here he is.
We're not going to hate it. It's going to happen. Statistically, and when he goes for another job next season, his stats will say, I averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're not going to send this game team out to a prospective coach, are you?
Well, this will be interesting for a while as Notchbar sits down. You've got Yevtukas and Lavrinovic in the game. Dimitri Damani's coming in. He won't take any cheap stuff from anybody. And we've got Yaroslav Korolev. We saw 0.6 of a second of him earlier on. Now we're going to see a few minutes of him at the end of the game. Dimitri Damani finds Baikov, gets the penetration going, knocked away. Gustav's chance to lead the break for Riga.
And looking and waiting for his team to get set.
Comes off that high post screen, turns the corner, looking for the... Well, that's a tough shot. Had a wide open...
Great defense. 3 guys all over him.
Corey Smith was wide open in the corner, chose not to give it to him. Here's Hollis Price calling the play.
It's late in the game, but watch the way the Moscow players, when they swarm around the penetrator, their hands are up, their arms are big, they're distracting, almost like a handball player. They try to make themselves look bigger than what they really are, distracting the pass.
Korolev on the penetration, goes up, buzzer goes. Well, that's a man who's not used to playing. It was good to see him trying to run stuff for him. We got him deep in the shot clock. Have to say, saw him play as a junior in the tournament in Hospital near Barcelona for CSKA Moscow. What a talent. He got drafted after that year as a first round. Just shows the level at Europe you have to make that step from being a talented junior into a pro.
Also, that raises the question that I often have considered over the years. A lot of, particularly you see a lot of Eastern European players, they burn out early. They play so much basketball so early in life. By the time they get to 21, 22, they plateaued. I'm not saying this is happening in this case. He gets drafted by the NBA. He goes over there, right? That's it. I'm big man now. Comes back this level, and the kid that he used to abuse is now playing well ahead of him because he's learned the game. He's improved, and he versus Karlev has stopped improving.
I hope that the talent he had as a young man comes through, because at 6'8", 6'9", he's a good athlete, can handle the ball. Had a reasonable perimeter game as a youngster on the CSKA Moscow junior team that was literally the best junior team in Europe that year. So I'm interested to see how he plays. We get a chance to look at him now as David Platt now has given everybody court time on that Moscow bench, except I don't think Dmitry Krostov, the young 18-year-old's been in the game yet. So see if he gets some minutes as we get deeper into the game. But Lavinovic on that replay, he still cares, these guys. They're not going to give anything up. That's another good sign of a good team.
Well, also, he's making the point that, come on, referee, you know this guy's throwing cheap shots out there. He's not engaged. You're going to reward him with a three-point play.
Well, it's an 18-point margin for Dynamo Moscow. They lead 72-54. Deep in the fourth quarter, 4:30 to go. Alexandra deep on the perimeter. Rhodes to the basket. Charles Rhodes for two. Cuts it to 16 as Hollis Price tries to... this is great practice time now for Moscow. They're trying to look to run sets. Damani's getting some floor time. Young Korolev's getting some time. But you've still got some real quality people on the floor. Natchbar's back in the game. That was a very brief time there for the young man, Korolev. Oh, he sits down. He's like, you mess up once. If you're not going to take advantage of your court time, young man, I'm going to take you out. There's a shot clock violation.
Well,
Moscow lose possession.
Half defense, half poor execution there. You'd expect Moscow to get a little more out of that set.
16-point game, chance to get it to 13. You never say never. It's a long way back, and there's a lot of talent in their team in blue. Alexandra just settles for three, and I say it without toning my voice because it's so disappointing. He just strolled to the three-point line, stood there and shot the ball.
He's such a good player. That's the thing that frustrates you about it.
Yeah, if he wasn't good, we would almost be just leaving it alone.
You'd write him off. We've had some nights, Mark, over the years in ULEB Cup covering these competitions. You've seen guys, the big Portuguese guy that looked in Portugal who looked like he couldn't play dead in a cowboy show. Leon, what's his name? No, Leon Thomas, I think his name was.
Yep.
Comes up, he's playing against this Turkish team, throws his heart and soul out there to get 20 and 14. Now look at that little push there. What's the point in that?
That's another one of those get me out of here. That's a get me out of here foul as Moscow with Hollis Price control it on the and line back off with the inbound pass. Hollis Price. Quality 1 to 12 on this Moscow team. High post pick and roll. Wastan Natchbar off the glass. Quality, quality, and quality.
Just about to say, oh, that's a really ugly shot, but he jump stops and extends, reaching to the basket. Big hands, can make the layup with finger roll. Just great execution, great player.
I'm just so impressed with him tonight. He's come to play. He's in the double team here, deep in the game. He's coming over and help, and on Demetrius Alexandra, and Alexandra just, as you see him in front, strolls back, didn't even get inside the three-point line as that shot went up. Damani at the offensive end gives it to Hollis Price. So this is David Platt saying to the guys, we've won this game. We're going to run some offense. We're going to try and see what options we get out of things. Baikov, open three is short. Yevtukas keeps it alive, and Hollis Price will set, and we'll have another 24 seconds unless they get something easy going to the basket. And we get a foul. Was that on Alexander again?
He's trying to get his fifth foul, so I won't be surprised if it is.
Here's Yuri Vasiliev after a very brief period in the first half. He was the guy on the end of the game, wasn't he, where he missed the shot, didn't even take the shot at the end of the half. But so Coach Black gets trying to get everybody into the game. Baikov on the free throw line, doesn't get the roll. Well, certainly tonight we've seen two of the better teams in this Europe Cup, and it's going to take a tough team to beat this Moscow team.
Oh, absolutely. They're doing this on the road, and the impressive thing about it is they've shown flashes of what they can do offensively. So if you want to take them on offensively, it's going to be tough for you. But defensively, they've been masterful. I mean, they've held a very efficient and solid offensive outfit in Riga so far, under 60 points.
Well, he's putting different defensive combinations in there. There was a 2-3 matchup zone we just saw there. Execution was excellent in terms of the exchange of players, and as players cut, the people were bumping cuts, matching up, making sure that there was pressure on the ball. So David Platt making a real fist of this job he's got in Moscow. And you could say, even though they've been very successful last year, they were favourites for the Eurocup, along with Badalona. Didn't make the final. Girona beat them. So
yeah, that was a bit of a turn-up for the books. But Girona was a good team.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then they folded, didn't they?
Yeah. Even it's an amazing scenario. One of the teams that makes a European final, then folds over the summer. It's
the fragility of the professional sports outfits nowadays.
Well, especially at the moment. But there's Baikov finds Damani. Little back screen, Hollis Price off of a down screen, doesn't get the roll, but they're pulling offensive rebounds. These guys aren't stopping playing. Here's Baikov. Vasiliev outside the three-point line. There's those down screens to release Hollis Price. Going inside, Vasiliev in the low post. Nice little pass and a little reverse layup by Baikov. Well, it's been a bit of a clinic and exhibition at the moment.
Mark, that's the fourth reverse layup or reverse dunk we've had by Moscow. And these things are no accident. Those are drills that the Moscow guys will do as a matter of course in practice on a daily basis.
Well, turned over. Sloppy pass, but Baikov looks up. Referee gives him a hand. And this is Korolev's second chance to
read the clock.
See if he can play, because he had a chance to go one-on-one and messed up.
Yeah, Nachbar there just got a little bit off balance, and Vikov had pulled up. And actually the rules of the fast break is you got to hit that baseline before you slow down.
Well, 1:20 to go. 58 to the home team here from Riga, 77 from Moscow. Whatever happens, it's been an impressive performance. Pull-up jump shot, way long. Price with a defensive rebound. Zidax with a long shot there. And on the break this time, Baikov didn't stop. Easy layup.
Another reverse layup.
Yep.
It's interesting, Mark, because people say, well, where do they learn these skills? That's team practice. You have your shooting practice drills, probably Tuesday morning or something, and that's something that these guys will shoot hundreds of those shots repetitively.
And they don't miss layups very often. As Corey Smith strokes the three, gets his team over the 60-point mark, and Hollis Price bringing it down for Moscow. High pro screen by Vasiliev, Price to the basket, nice kick. Damani, who's done that for years, gets his feet set but misses the three.
Well, you can see he's not sort of in the zone now. There's no pressure on Damani as this game winds down. Just a great performance.
Absolutely.
We use this word sometimes a little bit too easily, but is what rings a bell with the way Moscow done tonight.
And the difference between them and this year, this was the Tays last year where they got caught out a little bit in an early season game. No chance of getting caught out this year. And Dynamo Moscow are putting a marker down. We've seen three teams in the first three games of our coverage here on Eurosport 2, who all of them are potential winners of the competition. We've started at the top, and we've really put a marker down for this whole season of Eurocup basketball here on Eurosport 2. Don't forget, though, if we're not showing it live or if it's not on, you can catch up with all the action from European basketball and most others on all sport on eurosport.yahoo.co.uk. Catch that website, because if it's happening anywhere in sport, it's on that website. And it's a tremendous performance here by Dynamo Moscow. End of the game, last shot from Riga. And these crowd will go home tonight, one, disappointed, but two, they'll go home really recognizing that they have seen one of the best teams. Martin, how good is Moscow?
Well, it's early days. I've only seen 4 teams in this competition so far, but I think I'd say that's a potential champion in the making.
Wow, this team from Dynamo Moscow celebrating, meeting the team from Riga at half court. This is the only nice thing they've probably done to them all night. They have shown tonight that they are a real potential winner of the Eurocup. So a tremendous performance. They come out with a tremendous win here on the road in Riga. Professional performance by Moscow. 80-61, Dynamo Moscow have the win. Martin, for you, we've seen 3 teams now. Is this the most impressive team we've seen?
Well, you know, the impressive roster, impressive balance. In a one-off situation, you can see them getting turned over, but over the course of a league, as what the situation got now, this is going to be head and shoulders one of the best teams of the competition that we're going to see this whole season.
Well, this has been the first week of Eurocup basketball here on Eurosport 2. I'm Mark Clark. Martin Henlon's been with me. We've enjoyed these first 2 games. Stay tuned every week on Eurosport 2.